that then we went to do my close-up, which now was a close-up of a scene that we had done on the main street in Gunsmoke. So we've moved to the main street, and James Arness was like, at 5 o'clock, I'm out of here. And so I did all of my close-ups to a ladder. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rob Word. Welcome to A Word on Westerns, and we talk about happy marriages and longevity. Well, I have a couple today who have had long careers and a long marriage. I'm talking about Gwynne Gilford and her lovely husband, Robert Pine. Yeah. Okay. Well, you two look great together.
Well, I hope so.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. You know, Robert's been a guest a couple of times here on our show, and he can't remember shit. So I'm hoping you do a bit better, okay?
I don't know. You were talking about a long time ago in the land
Right.
far, far away.
Right. We live in sort of a fog.
Well, it lifts, though.
Yes, it
when
does.
you
It
come
But
in here.
it lived here.
The fun of being together, you guys have actually worked together because Robert's big show, Chips, you played Mrs. Chips.
Very, very fun.
And what your character, Sergeant
Sergeant Chips.
Sergeant Chips.
Sgt Getraer.
Getraer.
Nobody can say
Mrs.
that.
Getraer, the worst possible last name.
Betty Getraer.
I was Betty, yes, I was.
Yeah, well, I used to call all my dates Betty, so I wouldn't get them mixed up.
Well, that's women. I said, my name's not Betty.
Gwen has done a Gunsmoke episode, and her mom, you probably know her mom, Anne Gwynne, from House of Frankenstein and RAMAR of the Jungle. Well, I remember her from RAMAR of the Jungle, and also House of Frankenstein too. But let me ask you a little bit about your background with your mom. I know she was a big Universal star and did Abbott and Costello movies, Ride 'em Cowboy with Bud and Lou. What do you remember about her?
Well, because it really kicks in, I guess, around the age of 8. So what I remember is that we'd go places and people would ask for her autograph, and that she was beautiful. You know, my mother really had a great.
One of the big pinup girls.
Yes,
in World
totally
War
a
II.
big pinup girl, and she was so accommodating to all her fans that would come to the table wherever we would go as a family. She would be there, and I mean the fans would sort of be there, and so it was kind of like a normal world, living in that kind of world. So, but the Abbott and Costello movie, she didn't really talk about them as much. It was sort of the fun that they would have on the set, that there was it was a playful set, and that was unusual for her because she had, done these more serious kind of westerns and
she was in one of the Flash Gordon series.
And Flash Gordon,
Buster
yeah,
Crabbe,
exactly.
yes.
And she liked Buster Crabbe, and so the thing is that she was she considered herself like the working actress, and she really, there were certain people that, most people she really liked. The only people she didn't like were people that could be difficult, but Buster Crabbe, it seemed like, was a good guy, so they had a lot of fun. And my mother really, though, enjoyed the idea of westerns because she grew up in Texas. She's from San Antonio, so she really knew how to ride. So she really liked to ride a lot, which
But one of her first films was with Johnny Mack Brown.
Yes, and she liked Johnny Mack Brown. She said he was a really good guy, and we used to run into him when he was working like in a restaurant. He was a, what was he? He was a maitre d' at a restaurant. So, and that was in a way kind of sad, I think for my mother
he'd
to
put on
see
so
that.
much weight that he couldn't really get work.
And so that piece, that part of who I remember, that was really sad for her because she really liked him, said he was a really good guy. And the photos that I have of him is he's the handsome guy, so it was.
Because he was also in the Ride 'em Cowboy, the Abbott and Costello film.
An Abbott and Costello
with
film.
Dick Foran.
Yeah,
too.
which she had so much fun in because, of course, in Abbott and Costello, there's this scene where, there's just a lot of talk about whatever they were talking about. There was a big group gathering, and my mom's kind of in the middle, and there's Abbott and Costello, and they're arguing about something, and this bull comes into the scene, and my mother immediately goes over, grabs the bull by the horns, and then then the director yells cut and goes, well, that was a fabulous shot. And then, you know, and then the stunt woman comes over and says, I was supposed to do that. You know, they were supposed to cut earlier, but the director liked it so much because it was real. And so the stunt woman said, why did you do that? She said, I'm from Texas, my mother said. She said, I'm from Texas. When you see a bull, you grab it by the horns. You know, that's what you do. Because my mother, as I said, grew up in San Antonio. Well, one of her uncles, because my grandmother came from a family of 12, and one of her uncles was one of the managers of the big ranch in Texas.
The 4 Sixes?
The King Ranch.
Oh, sure.
So one of my uncles was a manager, one of the managers of one of the King Ranch. Yeah.
Well, did you learn to ride also then when you were growing up?
So I grew up in Beverly Hills, so it was more about cars. You know? So yes, I did go out. My uncle, who was a stuntman, at the time, he did teach me how to crack a bullwhip. So I know how to crack a bullwhip, which comes in handy, you know, like never.
You want to see my back?
Your mom was in the Lash LaRue movie.
Yes,
too.
she worked with Lash LaRue. The fear was if he got drunk, where was that lash going to go? You know, that was always the fear. But I did crack a bullwhip, and I did learn how to fence. He taught me how to fence, my uncle. And my grandson is now fencing, which is fun. So I'll talk about that on guard, you know, But the horse, my uncle was a great horse. He put me on a horse literally named Thunder, a black horse named Thunder. He put me on the horse, and then he slapped the horse. And the horse took off so fast, and I am 8 years old.
Oh, that's frightening.
Terrifying. And then he comes in, like this is a TV movie, and sweeps me off the horse. Yes, playing the part of the rescuer. Well, that did it. I never wanted to get on a horse again.
I can understand
that. Was like, I'm done.
Yep.
No horses. Yeah. That's my horse story.
Did you run lines with your mother?
Yes, I did.
Like for RAMAR of the Jungle?
RAMAR of the Jungle was great because she was in the middle of Africa, and all of the natives are coming with spears, and that's what I remember is they had big spears, and so I'm running and I'm playing, of course, the people with the spears that are going to stab her or something, and it was just the idea of it that here I am, I'm 8 years old, and I'm running lines with my mother. But so this got to be like a norm, you know. It was like I loved it I loved it at the time. I absolutely loved it. It was so cool that she asked me to do that, and she really was serious when she was doing it, you know. So those stand out because I recently ran into a 8x10 glossy I have of her from RAMAR of the Jungle, and she looks so beautiful. And I'm thinking, God, and this is what it looked like, because I didn't know. We're standing in the kitchen reading it, but when you actually see it with the spears and the people,
and they shot all those on a sound stage.
On a sound stage,
they never went anywhere.
Right, exactly.
They'd stop, and you hear these weird noises, and they'd look like this, and then be some grainy stock footage of either a chimpanzee or a hippo running across the screen.
Right.
Getting closer to them. Now let's be careful.
So it was fun. I loved running lines with her. It was fun.
So then later, when you became an actress and you did a Gunsmoke, so tell us about the Gunsmoke episode you did.
The Gunsmoke was great because it was about Festus and myself. And the sheriff had to take us to outside of town to a house where there was something going on that was inappropriate, he thought, so Festus had to go out, you know, and really, and with James Arness, because they had to really make sure that the family was going to be okay and that they weren't going to, you know, cause problems because Festus didn't do anything. So when they went out there and they made sort of, you know, peace, then there was this big dinner party afterwards. Like everybody was now happy. Festus was the good guy, and
wasn't your mother in the script trying to marry you off to Festus?
Oh, yes. Well, yes, the mother of the girl. Yes, you're absolutely right.
And you were the girl.
And but I was the girl instead of her daughter being me, right, trying to marry me off. And it was very weird because what I remember about it wasn't the story. It was about that we had to eat. I had never as an actress done an eating scene. So that's what I remember. So we're eating a dinner that they eat like at noon, you know. So they fixed it. I mean, they fixed a great, you know, CBS
It's prop
did it.
food, though.
No, it's real food. They fixed real food that you could see it, you know, the steam coming up. So it was fried chicken, it was mashed potatoes, it was beans, it was corn, it was the whole thing. And then they had all these bowls on the table and everybody's eating and eating. And of course, then they go, cut. And then you have to do it again.
How do you match the scenes of the food?
Yes, exactly. So you have to be really careful about what you eat and how you eat. But then they say cut, and then you're doing it again, and you're eating, and you're
And they
eating.
would bring in more food
More
each time.
food because you have to eat again. You have to. So they go cut. I mean, I just remember feeling so sick. And then the last piece of it, which is the unfortunate piece about James Arness, is that then we went to do my close-up, which now was a close-up of a scene that we had done on the main street in Gunsmoke. So we've moved to the main street, and James Arness was like, "At 5 o'clock, I'm out of here," and so I did all of my close-ups to a ladder. Yeah,
A tall ladder.
a very tall ladder. It was a very tall ladder. Yeah. So that was my introduction, though, to the reality of TV. Yes, of the reality of.
They're on a real tight schedule.
Yes. And
So let's talk about Robert's reality, his show Chips, where you, in real life, were his wife both on screen and off.
Right.
How lucky is that?
It was fun.
It was, I bet.
But I remember reading the script where it says I have a wife, and so I go to the showrunner and producer, Cy Shermack, and I say, you know, my wife Gwen would be perfect for this. And she says, yeah, okay. And then they hired her, and I saw they gave her this no money at all. I said, she's got to get at least top of the show. I'm not asking you to make her as a millionaire, but that. And so they did that, which was very nice.
And of course, you got good billing up at the top each time too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's, you know, it's it.
No, it was
Nepotism.
very nice, and she did 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And one of the fun things was that she got pregnant with her son, and
During the filming.
Oh, great. Thanks.
no, this was
These are the outtakes. I'm sorry.
right.
Too
no,
much
that's okay.
information.
So I went to Cy. I said, you know, there's something in this. She's pregnant, and we could have some fun with it. He said, you're right. So they wrote a script, and now we'll take it. She's in her about 8.5 months, and I said, Cy, when are we doing this thing? She's like out to here. Come on. Said it's our next episode. Oh, thank God. And then during this particular, which was a 2-part episode, the actors went on strike.
Oh.
So lo and behold, she had Chris, her son,
That's why he's in show business.
and she had to come in and do it with a pillow and stuff like that. So anyway, that was almost Chris's first appearance.
Right.
Right. Even though-
Well, you must be 2 proud parents with what his career has been
Very,
like.
very much so.
well, I'm very, very proud of him.
He's a
And,
wonderful actor.
He's a wonderful actor, and what makes me the most proud, and I think Gwen too, is that any time somebody says his name, goes, oh, I worked with him. What a great guy he is. He's a real team player, no ego and none of that crap. And which makes me, he's a very positive example.
Well, you
for
two
our
were
business.
role models for him too, so he could see, you know, what working actors are like, and that it's a team profession.
Yeah.
And it's a business, and you act professionally. And that's what some people forget.
And I've always said, if you're, you know, there's a cast list, and which puts the stars up top, and you all have numbers. And I've always said, if you're number 1, 2, or 3 on a cast list, you're the host of the party, and it behooves you to treat people kindly. Nothing's worse than for a day player to come in who has 2 lines, scared to death, and if you just ignore them, it's terrible. So, and he's very kind to everybody. So that makes me feel.
So what was his first on-screen part? Since he'd missed the Chips episode.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I think he did some commercials first, and then he did what was it, the ER?
ER with George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I hope George was nice to him.
well, I don't know whether George was still there, but
George got out pretty quickly.
Sally Fields was guesting on it or something, as I remember. He did a few other things, and then his big break was when he was cast in Princess Diaries, the second prison, and he jokes about it because he's got like a helmet head. He has this huge head of hair. And anyway, that was the first thing, and which he really enjoyed with Gary Marshall.
Yes, he really liked Gary Marshall.
And it was fun because I was under contract to Universal, and Gwen was under contract, and this was his first movie, and they filmed some of it at the studio. So we all have a history there, and yeah, I'm very proud of him. He works hard. He's always prepared.
He's done some terrific stuff. And the Star Trek franchise too. He's so perfect for that part, and he brings the integrity and the humor that Shatner had, yet he has made it his own. And I think my favorite, only because it's the cowboy one, is Hell or High Water.
Oh, that was
Such a good film, and he's wonderful.
Yes, and he loved to ride, and he really learned how to ride from the best. So he is a terrific rider.
Well, he's a writer, but he doesn't ride in that.
No, but I'm saying
Hell or High
He
Water.
rides in a car,
but
and the
that's
cops
in
are
the car,
chasing him.
Right, exactly. That's true.
That's
true.
He,
Texas, I would think.
yeah, I think it's his best film, not because he's bad in anything. It's just this is a film.
His character has such a great arc too.
And he and Ben Foster, he's done 3 films with Ben, and they're really very tight
Good together.
It was funny. This is from this that to show you what a character actor Ben is. Before and Chris only worked 1 week on it, and but he got there, and before they started, Ben had chipped his front tooth so it looked, because he came out of prison in this thing. He thought that was great. The producer said, "What the fuck did you do?" And they made him put a thing, go and had to a dentist to put it back in.
Really? And he had created the chip?
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Right.
No, he's great. I mean, he's a really
But
good
that was,
actor.
it should have gotten an award.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely should have
I mean, it was,
Well, it was up for
Popular film.
Best Picture.
and I think Jeff was nominated for Best Actor again in that. So and the script, that was Taylor Sheridan.
Yes,
wrote the
Yeah.
script.
Sheridan.
So good.
So good.
But you know what? A small company did it. They didn't have any money to advertise it.
True.
And that's what screwed
That's
them up.
happened to a couple of really good films. Hostiles with Christian Bale.
Oh.
It was a Western. West Studi. It's a beautiful film. I saw it 3 times in the theaters.
What a cast.
It didn't have the right promotion at all. Nobody even knew it was out, and then all of a sudden it's on TV. But that's one to watch.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful film
Yeah.
that is heartfelt, and Ben Foster's in that too, and has a wonderful part in it.
Good, yeah.
too. And speaking of Chris, I happen to have a book here that he wrote, a children's book,
Yeah. It's very sweet. And
and the artwork is terrific. too.
Beautiful, isn't it? Yes. And the story, which
the
is
story
so
is
Well, look at
very
this.
sweet.
heartwarming.
Look at this cute dog.
And yeah, he's very, my son is very creative, our son. And it's a wonderful book to read to your kids. And he mentioned somewhere that it reminds him, because we both read to him.
Yeah.
And Gwen created stories, but he would sit with me, I know. And this is a very important thing for children. They've done studies on this. In England was the first one I read about, that a child, if you read to them, they associate that warmth.
Yes.
And it's a very positive thing. And because of that, they become readers themselves, which both my children are good readers. I mean, they read a lot.
I used to read to my son, and we would read sometimes. I loved the Uncle Scrooge comic books.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Karl Marx wrote.
Yes.
He was the Mark Twain of narrative art.
Right.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
And so I would read some, and then Robbie had an affinity for accents.
Ah.
I would say, well, you read this part, and he'd, oh no, I don't want to read. I go, no, you read too. And I would read some, and then I'd stop at Uncle Scrooge and say, you read. And he'd say, no. And I'd say, all right, then I'll read the Uncle Scrooge. And so I would do a terrible Scottish accent.
Really, it was the worst Scottish accent you've ever heard. It's terrible.
Yours is good.
Well, I'd always cut him off because the Scottish accent was just terrible. It was really embarrassing.
I got him to read, but he would do it with a Scottish accent.
That is so great.
that's
That is so great.
When he was like 4 or 5, I introduced him to Alan Young, and so who was the voice of the Scrooge McDuck
I
on
didn't realize
DuckTales.
that.
Oh,
And so they start, and he's 4 or 5. I don't know how old you were.
6 or 6.
6 probably. And they are speaking with Scottish accents because he said, do you really speak, really Scottish? And so Alan Young is doing it, and he's doing it back to him.
Oh, how cool.
And this
That
is before we had our great phones. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that have been great to have that video?
Oh, yes,
Oh, wonderful.
yes.
How did you two meet?
Well, it was at a party.
A Hollywood party.
A party where this friend, and we both were in Jeff Corey's class, but not the same class. And this was a house that was near the Hollywood Bowl, and it was 2 stories. So you walked in this story, and then there was this open living room that was 2 stories high. And then there was a balcony up here to the bedrooms where you walked upstairs. And I'm looking over the balcony, and down there I see Gwen talking with these 3 guys, and they're just gushing over her. And there was also a rope up there where you could swing into the living
It was the
room.
60s, remember?
And you swung down,
I swung on the rope and
knocked those 3 guys down.
Not quite. I introduced myself, and then I invited her out. And then I took her home, and I went in to give her a little kiss, and she stuck her hand out.
Yes.
I said, okay, all right. So I said, that didn't go well, and went home, and I didn't call her. And then a mutual friend said, Gwen wants you to call her. So I did, and we went out again. And I think on our second date, I took her to the county fair down. You remember that? Down in
Right.
wherever that is. And they had this
Yeah.
like Ferris wheel
Yes.
up there. And I bought it, and I was wearing my leather, suede leather jacket. I
Looking like
a
a
stud.
And I had cotton candy.
She had cotton candy, and she got scared up there. "Ah!" And it went right here, the
Oh,
cotton candy.
no.
Yeah.
So it's a rocky beginning, but it smoothed out after that.
Well, I'm glad it did.
Yeah, me
I'm glad
too.
it did.
You know what? I want to say one more thing about her mother. She was the kindest, loveliest woman that you would ever want to meet. All of these mother-in-law stories. No, this was a great mother-in-law. She had no over-ego or anything like that. Just, I think she was a very sweet woman, and I'm sure everybody who worked with her thought the same thing.
And she loved Bud.
Buzz. She called me Buzz.
Buzz. But
Because my nickname is Bud.
and she really loved
Buzz. Yeah. No, I loved her. She was great.
And she was a great horsewoman. So there you have it. The two of them are really great.
Well, I loved having both of you here today to hear stories that I haven't heard. And before we go, you did a pilot, Gwen, with Tim Conway.
Yes.
And Robert did a movie with Tim Conway and Don Knotts, the Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. So do you have a Tim Conway story?
Well, Tim Conway, I did this pilot with Tim Conway where also we played, there was a husband and wife. We were a husband and wife. So we were actually in bed with Tim Conway. Yeah. And he was a really nice guy, and married and lots of kids. And funny and lots of kids. And but you know, I was young. It was new to the business and stuff. This is like, so and it was, of course, totally fine, but it was just an unusual situation for me to be in, you see. So Tim sort of really stood out to me because of that, situation, that it was just, to be in bed with someone, on TV, that was new.
Well, they wouldn't even let Lucy and Desi sleep in the same bed.
Wow.
They had to have separate beds.
That's right.
And the same with Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
Which really upset Dick Van Dyke a lot. But even then, even in the 60s, you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
No. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Times have certainly changed.
Boy, have they ever.
And they have changed for the better, I guess. But we love the old Westerns, and we're going to keep watching them. And I'm going to go back and dig up some of these Universal films with your mom, because she was also Weird Woman with Lon Chaney Jr.
She loved that. She loved that.
And how about Lon Chaney Jr.? I wonder what he was like.
I think it was when he would go off to his dressing room and drink.
It was a bar.
But she definitely worked with him, and he'd come back and then he'd be,
in bad shape.
In bad shape.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are fun films to watch. And it's been fun having both of you here today.
Thank you.
Well,
very
it's always
much. It was
fun chatting with you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for watching too.
Get out of here.
Will you teach God that to the alarm clock, huh?
Somebody stole our tent. Quiet, Howard. You'll wake Nancy. Nancy? Oh. Forgot. I couldn't figure why we were sleeping out in the open. What are you doing up so early?
Getting Nancy's pack ready. Willie's going to take her to the trading post and hire porters for the trek to the coast.
Well, thanks, Tom, but I won't be going in that direction. Now that my father is gone, I must stay on and finish the work he started.
After hearing what happened to him and Dexter?
I know, but I've just been going through Dad's papers. Why, his notes are full of research on Bassano land and his reasons for believing the birthplace of ancient Egyptian culture. I'm not asking you to understand what it would mean to the science of archaeology, but believe me, it would be an eternal monument to the memory of my father.
Well, then I guess it must be tried.
I hoped you'd say that. Now I must find Mr. Blake and ask him if he'll assemble another safari and act as our guide.
Well, Blake left here last night.
Oh?
Willie Willie's a good guide.
Well, Willie is so important to you and your research. How would you get along without him?
We couldn't. We'll just have to go along.
Willie, brave. Him not afraid to go to Basona Land.
No other guide will make that statement. The Basanos are none too friendly.
I'm not afraid. How soon can we leave?
Well, as soon as we can get enough supplies from the trading post.
Good. My pack is ready. All I have to do is finish the tape recording of my report to the museum.
Oh, Willie, help Miss Arlington set up a recorder while Professor Ogden and I get our rifles and knapsacks.
Yes, Doctor.
Let's get on to the trading post.
And all credit for solving the disappearance and death of my father, Stuart Arlington, should go to Dr. Tom Reynolds and Professor Howard Ogden, who led me to the unexplored land of the Coochie and there found Thurston Blake, guide and sole survivor of the ill-fated Arlington safari. Thurston Blake had just escaped from months of captivity, and his eyewitness account of being surprised and captured by the Coochie tribe, while in the very act of watching the crocodiles capsizing the boat in which my father and Mr. Dexter were trying to escape.
Thurston Blake doesn't always tell the truth, my dear.
Mr. Blake, you startled me.
Is this your pack?
Yes, but I'm not returning to the coast.
Good. Then we can start out now and be across the Eroso River before nightfall. And don't let those crocodiles worry you. There's a shoal where we can cross the river about 3 miles to the north on the way to my hut.
Well, Dr. Reynolds told me you'd left already from here in the opposite direction.
I've been lying to him ever since we met. I was never a prisoner of the Coochie. I figured you'd be coming to meet your father as planned, even though he'd been given up as lost. I was en route to meet you when you showed up with Reynolds and Ogden.
Then why did you lie?
I'll explain that later. Now, let's go.
No.
Nancy, I'm taking you to your father.
My father?
Of course. Dr. Arlington isn't dead, neither is Dexter. But we have to go on letting the world think they are for a while anyway.
Who made that decision, Mr. Blake? My father would have trusted Tom Reynolds. How do I know you're not lying to me now?
You don't. But if you want to see your father, you'll do as I say. Are you coming?
Guess Nancy's in resting up for a trip.
She forgot to turn off her machine.
Dr. Reynolds, Mimsop's pack is gone.
Some of her things are still in there. Have another look around, Willie.
Hey, Howard, listen. There are two voices on that track.
Now there's only one.
The crocodiles capsizing the boat in which my father and Mr. Dexter were trying to escape.
Thurston Blake doesn't always tell the truth, my dear.
Mr. Blake, you startled me.
No sign of a struggle here. She either went willingly or at the point of a gun.
Blake's crazy. He must have known we'd go after her when we found her missing.
Well, that wouldn't worry a man of his experience in the jungle.
Dr. Reynolds, I no find Mimsop any place.
Our only hope is that Blake didn't see that Nancy left this recorder running when he surprised her.
You think she did that on purpose?
This is no time for speculation. We do know he told her of a place where they could cross the Oroso River.
Of course. He even said it was on the way to his hut. If we only knew what Blake was up to.
That's why we must overtake them. They can't be far.
Mr. Blake, how much farther do we have to go?
We'll turn off through here. The trail isn't as good, but it shortens the distance.
Doctor, will he find fresh trail?
I thought Blake would get careless once he crossed the river. Lead on, Willie.
Yes, Doctor.
Getting closer to them. Now let's be careful.
Wait, Howard. Nancy's unharmed. Let's see where he's taking her.
There it is. That's where they've been waiting for you.
Dad! Oh, Dad. Dad, darling. Your face. What have they done to you?
He's a very stubborn man, my dear.
You miserable beast. I couldn't stop him, Nancy. He would have killed me.
He's gone mad, scared out of his wits by the jungle. I was very gentle with your father. He's taken ill, that's all.
He's lying, Nancy. He beat Dr. Arlington senseless.
But why? Why?
Because he thinks the golden tablet your father excavated is a key to fabulous wealth. He thinks he can grab it for himself. And he tried to force us to translate the message engraved on it.
They can't read the hieroglyphics on that tablet.
He can't now, that's a cinch.
That's why he brought you here, Nancy. Your father told him you'd be able to read the inscription.
I'll get the tablet now.
Don't waste your time. I won't translate it for you.
I think you will.
Shall we go in now? No. Let's wait until Blake gets back.
How long has he been like this?
For days. Nancy, you've got to do as Blake says. He'll kill us all if you don't.
He'll kill us anyway. He can't afford to let us live and tell the story. But just so long as I refuse,
It'll be sudden death. You couldn't stand it. He'll torture you. You'll go insane like him.
Is there no chance of escape?
Not without Blake to guide us. We'd be lost and at the mercy of the Basanos.
The coward's right. These Basanos are killers. If you hope to get out of here safely, you'll do as I say.
Don't be too sure of that.
Tom!
Dr. Reynolds! Now get over there. Howard, take his rifle. Now put down that bundle. We've heard enough to turn you over to the authorities for a long stretch.
Tom, quick. He's very sick.
Knowing your tricks, Blake, I better see if that is the golden tablet. You're mighty brave, aren't you, when someone else is holding a gun on me?
Get out of the way! He's getting away!
I'll let him go.
Are you crazy? I didn't think he'd dare make a break for it, but you gotta go after him. There's no telling what he'll do now.
No man can get far in the jungle without weapons and supplies. Not even Blake himself.
If he's smart, he'll come crawling back.
But supposing he doesn't?
If the Basanos don't get him, the law will. We'll notify all neighboring provinces to be on the lookout. Howard, give me a hand. Take his arm and help him up. I want to check his coordination. Walk. I said walk. Hey, we better sit him down.
What is it, Tom?
Profound state of shock, amnesia. His reflexes resist stimuli.
Is there a chance of recovery?
Oh, yes, but the question is when. These cases are unpredictable. Some snap right out of it, others take longer.
What can we do to help him?
He should be moved to the hospital in Shumlin, where he could be watched constantly.
Do you think he's strong enough to travel?
Well, I'm afraid not. He'll need a few days' rest, proper nutrition, and then forced exercise before we can attempt it.
Well, why must we all go? Can't your guide take him back alone, Reynolds?
He'll need medical attention on the way. We may even have to carry him on a litter.
Well, I'm not going. We can't abandon an expedition this important just because one of us falls by the wayside.
You've been searching for something lost thousands of years. What's a little more time?
That's right, Philip. We have the tablet, and we can resume the expedition later. My place now is with Dad.
Looks like you'll have to carry on alone, Dexter.
You alone in the jungle? This I have to see.
Dr. Mendoza.
Who are you?
Please rise. This is the chief.
I know who he is. I sent for him.
I know. I've just been pleading for your life before a council meeting of the chief, his elders, and the witch doctor.
You have a pull with this bunch?
I'm a missionary. Therefore, I'm tolerated by the chief, who is also the spiritual ruler of the Basanos.
They have a religion, eh?
A highly developed religion. The one remnant besides language of a civilization buried centuries ago by volcanic eruption.
Yes. That's the way Dr. Arlington figured it.
Arlington? The missing archaeologist?
Never mind about him. Did the guard deliver that piece of paper I sent to the chief?
Katila Malala. But this is a sketch of a holy Basano symbol. This symbol is only known to the heads of the Basano people since the time of the ancient chieftains.
Alegule Sarita! Alegule Sarita!
The chief demands to know where you saw it.
That's my ace in the hole. You tell the chief that I'll get him the original if he'll let me have a few of his warriors and a share in the loot.
Mr. Blake, you're hardly in a position to bargain.
Tell him that it's a solid gold tablet with some hieroglyphic writing on it, about this size and shape.
Kitobe Nako, Naglo.
Totayu, Tatadu, Alipalut, Yaga, Simtolo.
Kulemba, Spita Dona, Kurita, Polino Korem Korea.
He says the tablet shows the lost location of ancient tribal relics. All those not of religious nature he'll give to you if you produce the tablet.
You tell him to get his warriors together and let's get started. We may not have too much time as it is. Go, Ella.
You didn't let me finish. The chief also said if you don't bring him the tablet, the death sentence will be invoked.
That's my worry, Padre.
Rasuto! Neupe Loto Matisi. Sale Spito Gaturo. Huivo. Gora!
Boots. Boots, darling. Doesn't that word recall anything to you?
Boots? Boots? No. No, I'm sorry.
It's what you used to call me when I was a little girl.
I just can't remember.
That'll all come in time. Just be grateful you've gotten back most of your strength. We'll take it easy the first day or two. You ready? All right, let's go.
Get up, you fool.
All right, take it easy, Dexter.
Oh, go on, hit me, Ogden. What more can the old man cost me?
I'd cut it out, you two. Keep this up, Dexter, and we'll leave you behind.
They went down that trail, I tell you. They can't be far, we'll get them. Look, see? Tracks.
Kuenda. Neopiguala.
We'd better stop here and rest a while.
Good idea.
Dr. Arlington could use it.
We not have much left to eat, no?
No. Willie and I'd better scare up some game. Howard, you'd better stay here on guard. Let's try to get a little closer.
Greetings, coward. Where are Reynolds and his guide?
Well, they...
Shut up, Dexter.
Two more. Now you, Pete. Two.
Mayupi Koala. Koala.
All right, Arlington, up on your feet.
Shot. It come from back there. Maybe Professor Ogden, him hunting too.
I hardly think so. We'd better find out.
No, I couldn't you kill me.
Spoil the fun of watching the Basanos do it?
Come here.
Follow me.
Stay where you are, Blake.
Cut him loose. Willie, they know what this gun will do. They're scared. Tell the chief we mean no harm. We just want to get out of his territory in peace.
Nagoro no Kula Caliente.
Corina no Gobi. Ternota.
Him say many warriors look for us. We'll kill all when find.
I think he's bluffing. Tell him to give his word of safe passage or we'll take him along as hostage.
No Kulo. Sinoka. Koi.
Howard, show him we mean business.
Homalo. Kala. Gori. Neupe. Scripto or Rem.
Scripture. Him say he make trade. Our lives for golden tablet. Holy symbol of Bosono people.
Olora Kubo. Senka Dai Kuluenda. Ahuko.
Bosono religion say bad masters steal holy symbol. Ancient warriors chase bad masters north.
That means the Egyptians, Tom. Dad was sent here to establish that Egyptian antiquity had its birth in Basanoland.
Then the golden tablet has served your real purpose?
Yes, by all means, return it to its rightful owners.
No, not on your life. You are saying, Dexter?
Willie, tell the chief he can keep the tablet with our blessings.
Bosono Olika. Salika.
Gulibi. Ascente.
Asante. Howard, you take the lead.
Luenda.
Dexter, wait.
What is it, Dr. Arlington?
Where am I? Where are we going?
Snapping out of it.
Tom Reynolds said it could happen at any time. Thank heavens.
Nancy, when did you...
It's all right, Dad. Now, don't excite yourself. You've been ill.
Ill?
That's right. Come here. Sit down.
How long have I been ill? I'm all right now. Tell me, what happened?
What's the last you remember?
Blake. Thurston Blake beating me.
Yes. He was trying to force you to translate the message in the golden tablet that you activated in Egypt.
Weren't you able to translate it?
Oh, Dad, there wasn't time. We had just decided to abandon the expedition and get you to a hospital when Blake led the Bassano attack against us.
He got what he deserved. Nancy, with Blake out of the way and your father back to normal, why can't we go back to the Bassano country?
No, we promised the chief we'd never return there.
I'm sorry, Nancy. I can't give up now. Not when I'm on the verge of the most important discovery of my career.
He's right. We're scientists. We have to take chances. Your father knows the Bassano tongue. He knows their customs. He can reason with them, win their friendship.
But Tom Reynolds gave his promise.
Tom will understand, Nancy. I'll explain. No, it's better that you explain. Go back to his camp now. Tell him that Dexter and I have gone on, alone.
It's no use, Dad. I'm going with you.
We come back, Doctor. Mill.
Oh, thanks, Willie.
You glad to see me back, Babette? Wait a minute, I talk to you. Come now. Ah, you pretty monkey. Girl, boy. Nice monkey. I love you.
Well, this is mighty strange. This is a letter from the Chumlin Hospital saying that the Arlingtons and Philip Dexter never got there. That sounds bad. Why, it's almost 2 weeks since they started out on a 4-day trip. There's only one thing for us to do.
What's that?
We must go out and look for them. Apparently, they lost their way. Well, I'm ready whenever you are. And the sooner we leave, the better I'll feel about it.
Me hope Lion no see us.
If only there were some way to get word back to Tom Reynolds.
Wait. Maybe I can shoot my way out and make it to his camp.
How could you shoot your way out?
With this?
And what do you think would happen to Nancy and me after you got away?
All right. But I'll use it if I have to.
The drums have stopped.
The golden tablet.
Kuja, Naomi, Regina.
They're coming after us. Oh, Dad.
You know, it could be they've decided to set us free.
You don't really believe that, do you?
No.
Dr. Reynolds, they not take that trail. That go to the land of Bassanos. This go to Chumlin.
Well, let's push on. Hey, hold it, Howard. A woman's handkerchief. This belonged to Nancy Arlington. See the initial N on it?
Mm-hmm. Maybe they take wrong trail.
What's he saying?
Tribal Council has ruled that we return to the Bassano territory under death taboo.
Didn't you tell him we came to solve the mystery of the golden tablet? They have no idea what it's worth to them.
Tulikuja, Kapata, Samana Tuk-Tuk.
Tongo.
He's angry.
He says we make bitter medicine. In other words, we've defiled their holy symbol. He translated my appeal. There's nothing more he can do.
Kutembia Mojo Nisi.
Kapata. Aparo.
What's the matter, Dad?
Mabuso.
They intend to kill us, don't they?
We're to be subjected to the ordeal of truth serum for violating the death taboo.
You don't mean that...
They make us drink from a cup of poison. If we survive, we've committed no sin and they'll release us. And if we don't survive...
Does anybody? Ever?
No.
Is that where we cross the river, Willie?
That's right, Doctor. Bassano country on other side.
That river may be too deep to wade. We've got too much stuff in our packs to swim.
When we get to riverbank, you take long rest. Me go find men with boat maybe, huh?
I don't know what we'd do without you, Willie.
Oh, please not forget, Doctor, first time we met. Willie tell you him best guy in jungle?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, Willie.
Scared.
Omana. Neopi Kawibi.
There they come.
Utemba.
Will you have a gun? Use it on us. It'll be better than what they're going to do to us.
I'll use it all right.
You go on. Get away as far as you can. I'll catch up with you in a few minutes.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to make a try for our guns and packs. We'll need them if we hope to get through this jungle. Phil, go on. You're wasting time arguing. Come on.
Nini Nakashika, Wakapugo, Undiki, Nudugo.
You say white man shoot warrior, then steal sacred tablet.
Well, Arlington wouldn't do anything like that.
Could have been Dexter.
Ask him if he was with a woman and another white man, Willie.
Mojamoko, Muguni, Tuji.
Apana,
Well, it could have been Dexter.
Nudugo, Maputo.
You say warrior, dying.
Well, tell him Rama will try to help the warrior.
Rama, Vienna, Befeski Dwa.
Utambia Mabuso. Unachi Katuba.
You'll have to give me a hand.
He's in bad shape.
Yes. It's going to be nip and tuck to save him. Hold this, will you? Hang on a bit.
What do those skulls signify?
They mark the borders of Basano land. Country beyond is taboo to any member of that tribe. They wouldn't dare set foot beyond those skulls.
Then we'll be safe over there.
We will as far as the Basanos are concerned. Wonder what could have happened to Dexter.
It was foolish for him to go back into that village. Come on, Dad. Let's go out in the clearing. Those natives are awfully close to us, Dad.
Dexter, over here. Good, you made it all right. Yes, well, we got to get out of here. The warriors are right on my heels.
Oh, they won't dare touch us now. We're beyond their border, and they can't do us any harm.
What do you think? He'll pull through. Willie, tell the chief this man will get well.
Atotopeto miyama, Rama Kafanya.
Rama Rafiki.
Well, sure, I'm your friend. Tell him we'll bring back the sacred tablet if you'll guarantee a safe passage. It's a good idea. Willie, ask him. Maybe we can make a deal with him.
We'll try. Tutiendo Capeto. Utubwa. Uchi. Uno.
Tufanya.
Will do.
Didn't think you'd go for it.
Well, neither did I. Now what we have to do is get our guns and find Arlington and his party.
Koala.
You're gonna sleep long?
A couple of hours, dear.
Didn't you get any rest?
Somebody had to stand guard. I'm not very tired.
I noticed Philip brought only his own pack.
Yes, and none of our rifles.
I was lucky to get away with this. Those Basanos would sure like to get their hands on us. But we outmaneuvered them.
Oh, no, we didn't. We're really in bad shape.
In what way?
We've traveled north. Fork in the trail lies to the south. We can't reach the coast without doubling back through Basano territory.
You should never have shot that native, Philip.
If I hadn't, we'd be laid out cold and stiff right now.
I know. You only did it to save our lives, but still...
You've mistrusted me from the very first, haven't you?
Oh, stop it. We've more important things to do than fight friendly arguments.
You're right, Dad. I'm sorry, Philip.
All right, forget it.
Well, one thing's certain. We can't stay here very long. Not without food or water. Guns to protect ourselves.
What about trying to escape through those hills?
What hills?
Right over there.
Great Scott!
What's the matter?
Why, I'd never have believed it.
Nor I.
It's been over 50 years since Mount Kamunzuru was active.
Maybe it's always smoking like Vesuvius.
Do you suppose that's why this locality is taboo to the Basanos?
Yes, you can believe that. They were almost wiped out the last time it erupted.
Well, I guess that settled my plan to escape through the hills.
Whatever way we move, we'll still be gambling with our lives. So, as a lesser of the two evils, I suggest we stay right here until nightfall.
And then?
Under the cover of darkness, we can try to circle around and sneak past the Basanos. It's our only logical hope.
Yes, I'm afraid we've no other choice. Well, let's get what rest we can. Get some sleep, honey.
Maybe I can scare them off.
Shot. That means other white people are somewhere nearby.
Let's try to attract their attention.
That shot came from over there. It could be the Arlington party.
I think you're right. They heard our shot and answered it.
Asante.
Over here, Tom. Are we glad to see you?
Oh, thank heavens you're all right. You really had us worried. We heard from the hospital in Chumlin that you never got there, so we decided to find out what happened to you.
What we've been through would make quite a story, Tom.
The chief outlined the essentials.
The chief? You mean to say the Basanos let you cross their country?
Right.
Better than that, they even gave us a guide so that Willie here wouldn't get lost.
You'd better let me have that tablet now, Arlington. I promised to return it to the chief in exchange for our safe passage home.
What are you talking about? We don't have it.
Of course not. It's still in the Basano village.
Oh, no, it isn't. I have it right here.
And you told us you were going back for our packs and guns.
I found that too risky, but I did get a chance to grab the tablet.
All this talk is getting us nowhere, Tom.
That's right. Give it to me, Dexter.
Are you joking, Reynolds, after all I've been through to get this?
I said give it to me.
Not on your life.
Now get up. Now move. I'm going to give this tablet to the warriors now to take back to their village. Willie, come along. Willie, tell them to take this to their chief.
Rama, Naguma, Aketa Ringo.
Well, that made them happy. Let's get back to the others.
Well, I guess we can head back to our camp now.
No. Let's give him a chance to return the tablet first. Once the chief has it back in his possession, we won't be attacked again on our way home. like the way we planned. Let's make a run for it. That way, before the lava cuts us off. This looks like the best way.
Deeper into it instead of away from there.
I'm not so sure.
I can hardly breathe.
We've got to keep going. We can't stop to talk. Come on. Seems to have come up. If we head into it, we should be able to get through. I still think you could have spent a few days with us before going back.
Well, thanks for asking us, Tom, but you know how anxious I am to get my report to the museum.
When Dad makes up his mind, he's hard to convince otherwise.
We found that out.
I hope there are no hard feelings, Doctor.
Forget it. Anybody can occasionally get off on the wrong foot.
Doctor, if we not leave now, we not get very far before dark.
I'll expect you back here by tomorrow night.
I be here, Doctor.
Good.
But please, not let Daddy be lonesome, huh?
We'll entertain her. We may even have her into tea.
Goodbye, Tom. Stuart. Thank you. Same to you. Nancy, it's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.